Naming parts of shapes. So a portion of geometry is the study of parts of shapes such as points, lines, segments, and angles. All of these parts are used to make up all of our shapes and our polygons we're going to be dealing with. So to avoid confusion, there's a standard notation that I'm going to require all of you to use in order to convey to me the answers to your homework questions and the answers to your test questions. So our first part of a shape is our point. So you label a point using a single capital letter. Or if asked a question about a point, you use a single capital letter in order to answer. So if I'm asking you a question about the corners of the triangle at the right, you're going to label them using capital letters A, B, or C. Now, some of you will definitely never forget this after our last exam. If a shape is transformed, okay, we use prime notation. That means we are telling the person either reading our work or grading our work that we created an image, so that A and A prime are exactly the same point, are doing exactly the same thing, only one has been transformed from the other. Okay, remember we say A prime. So B's image is B prime, said this way. C's image is C prime. Okay, so this is to let someone else know, or to label for ourselves, that one image came from another. Every part of this image is the same as every part of this image, only they're in two different locations. The sides of our polygon are made up of segments or line segments. Okay, a line segment is just a piece of a line that we are trying to focus in on, and we label it by naming its endpoints and placing a bar above them. So for example, one of the sides of the first triangle up here is labeled AB. We'll write it out here over to the side. We label it AB segment. Okay, now when we refer to the length of segment AB, or you want to write in your exam or on a homework question that the length of AB has a specific measure, you leave out the bar. So we would say that AB is equal to 2. So the difference in the two ways of writing each. This specifies measure. This specifies the object. So if you answer using AB with a bar over it, you're trying to get me to look at segment AB. If you're telling me that AB without a bar is equal to 2, you want me to do some mathematical computation with 2. And therein lies the difference. Now a line, which is different from a segment, goes on forever, infinitely, in either direction that it's facing. But we usually pick 2 points on the line to identify it. So even though it is different from a segment, we use the segment nomenclature to help us figure out which line we're talking about. And when we name it, we pick the 2 points and we place over the 2 points its hat, as I like to call. So the segment's hat is a bar. The line's bar, we're talking about DE in our example. You say DE line over the top. Now we won't ever refer to the measurement of line DE because DE has no measure. If we want to measure something involving a line, we're going to pick a portion of it, a line segment, and then we will give that measure. So this is how I would direct someone, or you would direct me, to look at line DE or answer line DE in any of your homework questions. So now an angle is named by placing an angle symbol in front of the name of the angle's vertex. So for example, in triangle ABC, the measure of angle A is equal to 80 degrees. Sometimes a single letter can't tell us exactly what angle we're talking about though. So for example, at the right, it's unclear which angle we're talking about when we mention G. We have F, GH, we have this angle here, Then we also have IGH, or the angle in pink. So which one are we specifically talking about? Well, the reason we use 3 letters is so that we know which one we're specifically talking about. So blue is blue is IGH. Pink is going to be HGI. And when we have a situation in which we have multiple angles sharing a vertex, so G is a vertex, you will be required to use the 3 letters. If you do not, I will not know what angle you're talking about, and I will therefore assume you don't know what angle you're talking about as well. Now, to refer to an angle's measure, we also do the same thing kind of that we do with the segment. An M is placed in front of the angle's name, just like this, if we're giving it measure. That means the measure of HGI is 10. If we're strictly just talking about angle HGI, then we write angle HGI. That means it's not important what its measure is. However, when I see M angle HGI, that means I want you to figure out a solid number or use the number that's listed on the inside of that angle.